So we've been doing this peer mentoring program, and we hear really positive things from different stakeholders. The kids like it, parents like it, teachers feel like they see these improvements. But we wanted to measure that in a more rigorous way and follow kids for a couple of years. And so what we found is that kids who did 2 years of the mentoring program had better positive mental health, which is important because it protects against mental health challenges. They had better cultural connectedness and positive cultural identity, so that's having a really strong positive sense of who you are. And they also had better credit accumulation. So when we approach youth holistically, then we see these holistic benefits. We've been hearing these stories for years. So when you have a principal say to you, listen, there's 4 or 5 students in this grade 8 class, First Nation students. Last year I had so many behavior problems. They got suspended numerous times. I haven't suspended a single one of them this year, and I really think the program is playing a large part in that. Like, that's very compelling. And we've been hearing those stories for years. We've been hearing parents get in touch with schools and say, this mentoring program is what's keeping my child excited about school and going, and just, we love it. So those are great stories. But then from a research perspective, you also want to make sure that you're hearing any opposite types of stories. So that's why you look at the whole group. And that as a group, we saw this improvement. The improvement was even more pronounced for female students, but they started off lower. So at the beginning, female First Nation students scored lower on mental well-being and cultural identity than the boys, but they needed the program more, and they caught up more from it.
It's absolutely amazing. It is so amazing to have actual physical proof of this being a success. You know what I mean? Like, there's for me in my role, there's always that feeling of I'm doing the right thing. You know, I'm doing something my mom would want me to do, and trying to help the First Nation youth and everything. And there's always those good feelings inside. But it's good to have something on paper and saying you know what you're doing is actually making a difference. So that definitely helps a lot. I see success as walking that good path. So being that good person and making good choices. It's not just about academics. Of course, that's a big thing. We want to see these kids graduate and do well in school and all those pieces. But I also want to see them, like I said, walk that good path and make good choices, and say no. Those types of things is so important. And I think that culture and that medicine and everything that we do helps that. It helps me.
All kids need role models they can identify with, and if you are in the majority cultural group, you have those everywhere you look. And when you're in a minority group, you maybe don't see those everywhere you look, and now you're in a minority group where there's really negative stereotypes and media messages, and it can get really hard to see yourself as a successful student and to picture that next step. And so now we have all these wonderful mentors who are showing these younger students this is what it looks like to be a strong, proud Oneida youth, and to be doing great in school, and to be involved with leadership at the school. And I'm not selling out. This is all me. And then these students, by the time they're in grade 10 and 11, they turn around and do that for somebody else.